1970 Dodge Charger RT 440 car in limelight. Obviously, it has taken a very hard hit to the front. All right, in this back corner, because I have to do, they have it blocked off. So yeah, I could go around it, but this right here is a 68 Charger 318 car. I'll show some pictures of it at the end because I have pictures of it when it wasn't blocked off. But I don't know why someone left the door open. I will see if I can close it, even though the plant life looks pretty significant. Automatic on the column. Oh, good, it closed. Okay. This right here is a 1972 Dodge Charger. Okay. Next to it is a I think this is a 67 Dart GT. Yeah. Automatic on the floor, bucket seat car. Can't read the VIN. Yeah, 67. Next to that is really sad. 1970 Dodge Charger RT 440 car in limelight. Obviously, it has taken a very hard hit to the front. But you can see most people don't realize that 70 Charger RTs underneath the RT scoop, which you can see would go right there, was just the normal 69 Charger door. This one looks like it was an automatic on the floor. That is sad. Especially how it ended. But I'm sure the parts gave their life for better cars. And on this side, 69 Sport Fury next to a Malibu 350. Over here, 69 Plymouth Satellite next to another Dodge Charger. This one looks like it was originally a bronze car. Ooh, XH29L. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 70 Dodge Charger with a tree growing up through the back bumper. We got this, it's like a 75 Dart Sport. Aspen with T-tops. Let's see, 69 Roadrunner, I think that was. This is cool, 71 Roadrunner, 3D3 car. And you can tell it was by the 3D3 badging. This right here was a 69 Charger, I believe. Let's go see what the VIN says. XH290. Oh, okay, it's a 70. 70 Charger, 70 Charger that they cut the roof off. Here's a 68 Satellite or Roadrunner. What do we got over here? Dart Cutlass 1975 Dodge Charger Daytona. Most people don't know these exist, but I think they're cool. And then next to it's a 1979 Chrysler 300, which was the last 300 up until I think the 2004 300. Can't remember. But this one, bucket seats with buddy seat. Then same. This is actually a bucket seat console. These are all 360 cars. Oh, it still has the 300 grill in it. I didn't realize that. That's cool. All right, right there is a 70 Challenger. But over here, 1971 Barracuda Grand Coupe, I'm pretty sure. I posted the video of this the other day on my social media. Yep. I'm not going through that. Well, maybe a little bit. Oh, no, it's a 72. Where's the 71? There's a 68 Charger right there. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. So that right there is a 72 Cuda, or Barracuda. This right here is a 68 Charger. Random Thunderbird. And this right here, actually, you can see it's got a big block in it now. Probably a 440 with headers. Someone's hot rod. J23L, yeah. 070. Manual steering. 6 Coronet 440, which was just a trim package. 70 Satellite. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's a Roadrunner. Still has the original engine in it. Yep, RM23N0G, which is a 3-3 car. And here we got 71 Grand Coupe Barracuda. I won't make the same mistake. I'll show you the tail lights. Oh, you can see it still has the Grand Coupe interior with power window door panels and the wood grain trim. And then let's see, make sure I don't get bitten by any snakes. There you can see the Barracuda. You can see right there where the key would go through. Grand Coupe emblem would be. It's got a 68 Plymouth Satellite trunk on it with the nifty panel, and a 68 or a Roadrunner one also. Small block car. Here's a Javelin. Then across, there's that 70 Roadrunner. 72 Plymouth Satellite. Doesn't look like it's a Satellite Sebring Plus or Satellite Sebring, because looks like it just had only the one emblem on the quarter. Maybe it was Sebring. I don't think so, though. Next to that, it's like a 76 Aspen RT, which replaced the Dart Sport in the Dodge lineup and the Challenger. And I like them. I thought they were always neat cars. I would love to have a 78 Super Coupe with T-tops. That would be my bag. And here we have another Dodge Charger. Let's see what... I can't see the VIN real well. XP29G9. So it's 69 bucket seat. That's neat. Green car, white interior, white vinyl top on what remains up there. Here is a 1969 Dart GTS, because remember I decoded the VIN on this one once before, in light blue. I keep on freaking take pictures. I'm gonna be in trouble when I get home. This is a 70, I think it was a 72 Dodge Demon in gunmetal gray. Not a 3.4 car, 318 car, but still really nice. I love Demons. I almost had a 71 Slant 6 Demon as a fun car, but I lost it for $800. And then over here, so we got 73, 74 Duster, Pontiac, and then another Sport Fury. Oh boy. I was talking to the owner, or one of the owners, Brad, here earlier. And last time I was here, I counted, I think they have 8 purple 70 Dodge Challengers in the yard. How they got 8 purple ones, I'm not sure. But here's one of them. This was a 318 No Nothing special car. You can see it had a very rough life. Still, the grill is in it, which is a plus. But there's another 442. There's an Apollo. You don't see very many of those. Station wagon. And another 300, or maybe a 75 Charger. Don't you love it when technical difficulties come out of nowhere? My Blue Yeti microphone that I use every week has been going bad. I'm pretty sure the port is going bad. But I just spent the last 3 hours trying to get it to work, and it's kind of working. But this is still Elmer's Auto Graveyard in Fountain City, Wisconsin. Right now we're getting into the real meat and potatoes of the Mopar area of the yard. There's still a few more videos on this section and others, but the important thing is they are doing more junkyard walks here in 2025. They're doing 2 dates with 2 walks in each date. They're going to be doing one May 10th, 2025 at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And they're doing another one November 1st, 2025, same thing, 9 and 1. So this is the stuff that you would see if you do that walk. There's a whole nother part of the yard that they don't show, but these cars are what you go to see. And they give you the time to walk around, they tell you a little bit of history, and they let you take as many pictures as you want, video, whatever you'd like to do. The video I did on this 71 Barracuda Grand Coupe, I put on social media a few weeks ago, and it did extremely well, surprisingly, for a short 15-second video, which I've been doing a lot more of on YouTube and on my usual social media. You guys let me know what you think, because it definitely has opened up a few new avenues out there. And the purple Challengers that you see here, it was really funny that they had so many in this yard, and that randomly there was a 442 in the yard in that Mopar area. But when I started going through and they started pointing out what all was here, it really started to dawn on me, because I was never there before. I'd never been to the yard before before 2020. So this is all new, and I can't wait to get back here and hopefully 2025 and document it a lot better than I did before. Hey, automotive adventurers! I hope you enjoyed that video from walking around Elmer's Auto Graveyard up in Fountain City, Wisconsin. This was the bread and butter area that I really, really appreciated. All the Mopars, and even with what was there was more stuff that I missed because I just ran out of time, and there's a few things I wanted to hit. But, I mean, come on, 70 Charger RT in Limelight, which is the same color as my 71, you can see it over there. I mean, it was just so cool, and I was fortunate enough to see it twice. They are doing 2 more walks this year. I posted them in the last video, and I don't have the piece of paper with them, but one's in May and one's in November. I'll put the actual details and their website in the description below. So if you have any questions, just go right there. The owners are wonderful people. They'll answer any questions you have about, I mean, they do sell cars. It's a junkyard. You can call about cars and parts, and they do sell stuff. So if you see something that you really got to have, just go ahead and call them. But this week has been a really low-key week. It's been really cold here in Chicago. I think we actually hit some record lows for the time period. And yet this coming week, it's going to be in the 40s. So I get to go in the garage and clean and not freeze to death. I don't know, can you see the breath? It's pretty cool. I actually have a heater right here blowing on me so I don't freeze. And being a fat guy, that says something. But I've been working on stuff indoors, like power tour stuff. I have some. Oh, this next week. I'm going to Detroit. The Walter P. Chrysler Mopar swap meet is happening in Detroit a week from today. Today's Sunday. I will be there, not selling anything, but I'll be there walking around probably most of the day with friends. And then I got some shenanigans lined up, so it should be a pretty good time. I really hope that the snow melts. I don't like going on barn finding adventures when there's snow on the ground because it's really hard to show what's there when everything's covered in a foot of snow. So we'll see. The 2 or 3 things I really want to do are outside. They aren't in barns, so we'll see how that falls together. Otherwise, and then right after that is the Chicagoland Mopar swap meet, which is at Bentonhausen Dodge on February 9th, I think. It's a weekend after the WPC one. I'll be there for that one too. I'll be there all day. And then there's a gap, and then there's the Indy Mopar swap meet, which is funny. It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So been working on all that. Oh, I actually had a question this week from, let me pull it up. There we go, gallery. I actually had to take a picture of it. From Colin Hamilton 6493. He said, how do these guys get enough money to buy all these cars and then leave them out in a field to rot? Well, it depends on the car. I think he was talking about my friend I did a series of videos last year on 2 guys who had businesses that they've sold for lots of money, and they collected Mopars and they restored them in their free time with a few people. Those guys, like I said, they had 2 very successful companies that they sold, and now they get to play with muscle cars all the time. The more recent ones, like Elmer's Auto Salvage or Auto Graveyard, they were in the salvage business. So that's why most of these cars are wrecked. They bought them at auction or they took them in off the roads. They towed them to the yard, and that's how they got them. Otherwise, it's the usual thing. A lot of these guys bought them in the 80s when the cars weren't worth anything and saved them and protected them until now they're worth something. So they were the smart ones in this group. But yeah, so it's been quite the week. I hope everyone is staying warm and everyone is safe from, I heard torrential rains now in California, but I hope everyone's safe and secure. I know I am. I will hopefully be on the road here shortly. And so watch my social media. Please share, like, and subscribe because I can't do this without you guys sharing and liking and subscribing. Makes it all worth it. So I will talk to you all soon. You guys all stay safe.